Today's lesson focuses on 21st century skills, sometimes called the 4 C's. They are communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Hello teachers, this is an idea, something that I've done in my classroom for the last couple of years. I'm a STEM teacher, so this is what kids come to me to learn. One of the things that we really emphasize in my program is 21st century skills, and those are communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. So this particular activity ties in really well with all of those. Now, it's called Animals Around the Pond. Now, the way the activity works is that I usually greet the kids outside the door with a bucket of little plastic figurines, and they're told as they're coming in to pick one of them. And this usually piques their interest pretty quickly, because as soon as you start bringing out toys, they're wondering what it is that you're going to do with them. So it's going to be fun. Before they even start, they think it's going to be fun. Little gimmick for that I'll share with you. Now, once they get seated, I explain to them that each of their animals lives around a pond, and the table is the pond, and each of them is a house, and they want to create a way to get from their house to their friends' houses. So what they're going to have to do is build bridges across the river and across the pond, and to the person to their right, and to the person to their left, and to the person straight across from them. And then I make it a little more challenging by the materials that I choose to give them. And I try and give them not limitless materials. That way they really have to think about how they're going to use the materials and communicate effectively with those around them, so that they make sure they're using the materials in a way that everybody's going to have enough to work with. So one of my favorite ways of doing this is to use snap cubes and wooden planks that kind of look like this. Now, with the snap cubes, I say the snap cubes are the piers that can touch the water, but the wooden planks can't touch the water. Now, if you happen to be early year kindergarten, you can say that these can touch the water, because that may work better. So they're going to have to build the piers, put the planks on top, and make sure that their little creature, can reach the person to the left, person to the right, person straight across from them. A lot of ways that they have to communicate, because they all have to kind of decide how tall are the piers going to be. Because if I give them a limited number of snap cubes, you can't have one person building 6 tall and somebody else building 1 tall and running out halfway through. So it gives a lot of opportunity to compromise, to start a plan and have it not be successful, so that then they have to kind of back up and say, why isn't this working, and figure out how to do it. So great plan. It's called Animals Around the Pond. You're going to need little creatures and something to build your bridges out of. Have fun with it. It is a really good one for them to collaborate and have to really communicate with one another at the primary level. So to recap, for Animals at the Pond, each student gets a plastic animal. Groups or teams are by table, and the table represents a pond. Each person is a house with an animal, and their task is to create bridges to connect the houses so the animals can visit one another quickly without having to walk around the pond. They should build a bridge to connect to 3 neighbors, the one to their right, the one to their left, and the one across the pond. Piers can touch the water, planks cannot, so limit supplies so that students have to discuss how high the piers should be.